Hi there, and you're very welcome back to Derek's Driving School, and you're very welcome to part 1 in the series of Beginning to Drive Series 1. Today I'm going to talk to you about what I talk to every single person about in the very first driving lesson that I do with them, and that is the cockpit drill. Please subscribe to my channel. Let's get everybody passing their driving test, and let's make everybody as safe a driver as we possibly can on the Irish roads. What is the cockpit drill? Well, the cockpit drill is a series of safety checks we do every time we get in behind the driver's seat of a car. Okay, now a lot of these things you actually do and you take for granted. You do them ordinarily without even thinking, like putting on a seatbelt, right? You put on a seatbelt every time you get into a car, don't you? Okay, that's good to hear. Right, okay. Now, you're the driver, so it's your responsibility to make sure that everybody else has their seatbelt on as well. Okay, so cockpit drill, here we go. DSSSM, that's the abbreviation. First things first, we need to talk about the door. Yeah, I know, sounds self-explanatory, right? The door, you close the door when you get in. That's fine, that's okay. Having said that, it's not always possible to tell if the door is closed properly, okay? You won't really know. Hear that ding? Okay, that means that the door isn't closed properly. Now, if I open my door and if I close it lightly, there's a light that comes on. That light stays on because I don't have the door closed properly, all right? So the light is on, it's staying on, it's going nowhere. And then the beep is beeping as well because I have the door slightly closed. Look, I can't push it open, but it's still not fully closed, okay? The same is true for every door in this car. If it's not closed, this dinging is just going to keep on dinging until we close the door, okay? It's annoying, isn't it? Yeah, it is, yeah. But it's there for a reason. It's there for your safety and for my safety. Now, watch what happens to the light and listen out for the ding when I close that door properly. You ready? Did you see that? Yeah, the door is now closed properly. The same is true for all 5 doors in this car. If one of them is open, once I move off, I'm going to get a little notification on the front here to tell me one of the doors is open. And I'm also going to get a dinging noise that's just going to like melt my brain. So that's a good thing, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Door covered first, seat and steering wheel. I'm going to talk to you about the seat first, okay? What I'd like to do is adjust the seat first, and then you can worry about adjusting the steering wheel after that. Okay, the seat. The seat is made up of 3 components. You've got the base of the seat, you've got the back of the seat, and you've also got the head restraint. Head restraint, remember that one, that's a good one. Head restraint, not headrest, it's a head restraint. Okay, right, we'll talk about that in just a second. First thing we need to do is we need to adjust the base of the seat. In the middle, just underneath the seat, there's a little lever, okay? I'm not sure in your car where it's going to be, but I know in this car, I've got a little lever. I lift up the lever and that lets me slide the seat forward and back, okay? Forward and back. Right, now, how are you going to know if you've got like the perfect setup for you in relation to the base of the seat? Okay, here's how you know. All right, right now I'm pushing down my left foot, I'm pushing all the way down with the clutch pedal, okay? And I don't know if you're picking this up in the video, but I'm like, it's quite a stretch. I'm having to stretch fully to get that clutch pedal, which is the one on the left hand side, and we'll worry about all the pedals later. But right now I'm pushing in the clutch pedal with my left leg and it's completely straight. There's no bend in my knee at all, it's straight down to the floor. That is not a good seating position, okay, for a number of reasons, and I'll explain that to you in just a minute. Okay, so again, I'm getting the little adjuster. I lift up the adjuster and I bring my seat forward a little bit. Okay, try it again now at that. Now again, with my left leg, my left foot, I'm pushing down all the way to the floor. Okay, and that's a good bit better for me now. I still, when I push in the pedal, I still have a slight bend in my knee, okay? I'm not fully stretching out my leg all the way to the floor, okay? Right, that's how I know that the base of the seat is properly adjusted. That's good, I'm happy with that. Right, the next thing is the back of the seat, all right? All right, okay, now, the back of the seat, on my car, it's not all that fancy, so I've got like a little wheel. I might actually take a picture of that. On some cars, like it's all fancy and electric and stuff like this, but in my poor car, it's got the little wheel, so, you know. Okay, so ideally what you should be looking for is, all right, you are sitting there and you've got your 2 hands at the 10 to 2 position, and you should have a slight bend in your elbows, okay? So you see the way, like I'm not like fully stretched, and I'm not like that either, okay? So there's still a slight bend in my elbow as I sit here holding the steering wheel, okay? Now, why is that so important, you might say? Number one, for comfort, and then number two, the airbag. Okay, in the event of an accident, you're going to need that airbag, and it's going to need a little bit of clearance space to actually come out of the steering wheel. Okay, if you're shoved right up against it like that, oh, not so good. Okay, because that thing comes out of there pretty quick. All right, so it comes out pretty quick. It needs a little bit of clearance space. That is the back of your seat. There's also a height adjuster on this seat. It's not on every car that I've ever seen, but there is actually a height adjuster on this seat. Okay, it's a little jack. Again, I'm going to take a picture of it. You got it? Okay, you just jack it up or down, whichever way you want to go with it. Okay, now if you're tall, hop into a car and check this out. Okay, your hand should be able to fit over your head when it comes to sitting in the driver's seat. Okay, if you're not able to squeeze your hand in between your head like that, then you're sitting too high up, and it's just not really going to be that good, because you're, you know, looking down and you can't really see everything that you should be able to see. So then in that case, then you need to adjust it down. If you're like really low down, you'll know, because it's like too much space and you won't be able to see over the steering wheel, and it's just all going to get very uncomfortable very quickly. That's the base of the seat, that's the back of the seat, and that's the jack or the height adjuster of the seat. There are your three different areas that you can adjust. Now, remember I talked about the head restraint? All right, it was commonly known as the headrest. So like, I've had a lot of people over the years, and I say, you know, what does the headrest do? And because it's called a headrest, generally people think, it's just for resting your head on a long journey, whatever. No. The head restraint is there in the event of an impact, okay? So that if you're driving along and then all of a sudden the car hits you, it should catch your head, so that your head doesn't literally go back and you know, break your neck. Like, so it's there. It's a head restraint to catch your head in the event of an impact. All right, okay, that's your head restraint. Now generally you should have, like, the top of the head restraint should be pretty much in line kind of with the top of your head. So right now that's actually quite low for me, so I need to adjust it up a bit. Yeah, there you go. All right, okay, so that's a bit better for me. Yeah, that's going to work much better. Okay, so it's lined up kind of with the top of my head. Excellent, that's perfect actually, that's much better. Okay, next up is your steering wheel. On this car we have got what's called a reach and rake adjuster. It's a little, like, kind of adjustment thing here, and that allows you to bring the steering wheel in and out, up and down. Okay, so it's in and out, up and down, whatever way you want it. I've actually never been in a car with anybody where they've had it all the way out and all the way up. I've never seen that. So generally speaking, what I do for me is I just find a place that's comfortable, and then I lock it in place, and it makes sure that that is locked in place. Some cars it clicks, other cars you just have to like push it up as far as it can possibly go, and that way then you know that it's not moving anywhere. It's safe. Yeah, it's fine. So that's your door, your seat, your steering wheel. Now the next S on the list we're going to talk about is your seatbelt. Okay, right. This is very important. Click it into place. Okay. Now, this is the important step. Once it's clicked into place, with your thumb and your forefinger of your right hand, just run it back to your shoulder. What you're trying to do is, you see this? You see, like, sometimes you might get a crease in the seatbelt. Like, if that's kind of like creased across your body like that, well, when you need this thing to work, trust me, you need it to work properly, okay? So you just run your thumb and your forefinger back over to your shoulder, and that way then it takes out any of the creases, kind of irons it out. And then generally what I do is I just kind of give it a tug just to make sure that it's fitted properly to me, okay? Fine. Now, having said that, okay, back here, there's actually a little adjustment area here. You can push in that handle and you can bring it up or down, okay? Me personally, I like to have it down all the way. Here's why. All right, okay, so if I'm sitting here like this and it's adjusted fully up to the highest position, then my seat is up here like that. It's like it's too high, it's catching me on the neck, and again, in the event of an impact, that's not ideal either. So like that, you need to have it wherever is suitable for you, okay? So you bring that down. For me, I bring it down to the lowest setting, and then I'm good with that. Now, did you notice another thing as well, okay? Apart from those people walking there, did you notice something else? Ideally, you do all your seat adjustment first and then put your seat belt on, okay? Door, seat, steering wheel, seat belt. And M then, so it's DSSSM. Can you have a guess at what the M stands for? Yes, you got it right, the mirrors. With the centre mirror here, you need to be able to completely frame the back window, so all of that centre mirror should be looking directly out of the back window behind you, okay? Alright, left and right mirror then. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to show you a diagram right now. Now, here's another tip as well for you, okay? You see the way those head restraints in the back are up? Yeah, well, they need to be down, okay? Because particularly when you're learning to drive, you need to be able to see out that back window as much as you possibly can. So they are going to pose a bit of a problem for you. So, you know, they need to go down. Okay, welcome back. Now, that's your door, your seat, your steering wheel, your seatbelt and your mirrors all adjusted. That is a series of safety checks that you do every single time you get into the car as a driver. Remember, you're the driver now, so you're responsible for every single person within this car. So you need to make sure that everybody has their seatbelt on. You need to make sure that everybody has their door closed. Whatever about the seat setup, that's fine. That's something that you're going to do every time you get into a car anyways, okay? And chances are, if you've got your own car, you're going to set it up once and then it's like done forevermore. Unless you're like me, and then everybody gets into your car and then they all adjust it. And then every time you have to get into the car, you have to change the seat back to the way that you like it. The life of a driving instructor. I'll tell you, it looks so easy, doesn't it? It's not. No, it's not easy at all. Alright, okay. I've been Derek, you've been watching Derek's Driving School, and like I said, this is part 1 of the series Beginning to Drive, alright? If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel. Even if you don't like what you see, subscribe to the channel because you might like the next one that you see. In the next one, I'm going to show you the next thing that I talk about when I'm dealing with beginning to drive learner drivers. Alright, stay tuned. Remember, watch out for the yellow tag in the videos below. Thanks a million for watching, stay tuned and safe motoring.